Here we are at Game 7 of the 1968 candidates semifinals, quarterfinals between Mikhail Tal and Svetozar Gligoric. All right, here in Game 7, Tal had the white pieces, Gligoric the black pieces. Game 6, Tal had won the game with the black pieces. Um, as we explained in that video, um, Gligoric decided for some reason to not play his normal knight c3 against the Nimza Indian and played knight f3. And Tal played some kind of bogo Indian, and just the unfamiliarity of the position just led Gligoric to play terribly that game, and he lost. And now the game is tied. So how did this loss affect him? Well, let's see how he bounces back in Game 7. Now, we already discussed here that Tal and his team before the match was trying to prepare against Gligoric's pet line, which is the Smyslov variation in the Ruy Lopez. He lost the first game, Game 1, and he wasn't able to make any headway. He played against it. I think it was Game 5, and it was a draw, and it just proved a hard nut to crack. So here in Game 7, we see Tal is going to be the one to deviate. Instead of playing the normal h3 here, of course recommended by theory to stop black from playing this move, bishop g4, whereby there's plenty of choices to choose from, but Gligoric had been steadfast with this Smyslov variation, h6, and so Tal wasn't able to find a remedy, so Tal deviates and just plays d4. And now black, according to theory, should be okay here, but this is more of a psychological move here. Tal is kind of admitting that he has not been able to find a cure for the Smyslov variation, and he's putting Gligoric in a position whereby he has to, maybe kind of think, outside of his normal comfort zone. So bishop g4, as recommended, putting pressure on the d4 square, bishop e3, and here Gligoric decides to release the tension. Now here he could have, waited, maybe played a move like queen d7, for example. Let it be known also that if knight takes e4 here, then it's like an old move. Bishop d5 is possible, hitting the knight on c6 as well as the knight on d5. Queen d7, bishop takes e4 and d5, bishop c2 and e4, and I'm not sure that's so bad. H3, bishop h5, and then you have knight bd2, e takes, knight takes, so the piece is returned, and I think black is okay, nothing wrong with that. And you've eliminated the central pawn. You always got to be thinking of those things. So however, after bishop g5, bishop e3, another option is queen d7. Again, now with the idea of taking, but knight bd2. But I don't see any reason why knight takes e4 that really has to be avoided. And again, with the peaceful position for black. Anyway, Gligoric decided to release the tension here. He played e takes d4, takes, and then he played knight a5 again. Has same idea. Knight e4, knight takes e4, but here now with the c file open, instead of playing bishop d5, white also has the option of playing queen c2 here, attacking both. And here, bishop d5 is a bit stronger. So instead of after c takes d5, then Gligoric played, after c takes d4, Gligoric played knight a5, and this is why I think that he should have just took the pawn right away. They'll get the piece back. If a move like g4, of course, just bishop takes g4, elementary. So here, I think the insertion of e takes d4 is actually better for white. C takes d4 and knight a4, knight a5, bishop c2, knight c4, bishop c1, and Gligoric still has a nice game here. Again, this line isn't meant to refute Black's playing the Ruy Lopez, but again, Tal was having problems dealing with the Smyslov, so he just brought it into, a general position where both players are kind of forced to play on their understanding. Tal closes the position up. Knight d7, knight bd2, bishop f6. Again, it's an excellent position for Black. Rook b1, knight e5 from Gligoric. Now h3. Now here he decided to go for knight takes f3, which is possible. But again, I like trying to maintain the tension a little bit. Maybe bishop h5. Then you're really asking white the question. You're going to play g4. Nothing wrong with it, but still it's very committal. So instead, after h3, he just simplified real quick. Knight takes f3, knight takes f3, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, giving white the advantage of the bishop here. Rook e8, bishop f4, and now bishop e5. Tal turned down the trade. Bishop d2, knight b7. Interesting is just the move c4. So knight b7 was played. And it could be that Gligoric is planning eventually to bring the knight to c5. Other than that, it's hard to see where this knight is going to end up. Queen e2, queen f6, rook bd1, bishop f4, queen f3, bishop g5, queen d3. Some trades, and the game again looks like it's going towards a draw. Tal inserts a little bit of trickery here. Queen h6, rook d2, and now Gligoric plays this move. Probably more prudent would have just been rook takes, or maybe even instead of rook takes, maybe d takes first. So okay, so c4, b takes c4, b takes c4, and now queen c3. Of course, the idea being not to play queen takes c4, where queen d2 loses in an embarrassing manner. So queen c3, rook takes e5, rook takes, d takes. So Gligoric has played well. I mean, the game is equal, but again, this is what Tal wanted. He avoided the variation, and they're just, playing chess. It's going move for move. Check from Gligoric. King h2, queen a3. Now rook e8. And this this routine move, right? And who knows if it was a time pressure situation. But again, Gligoric is like, hey, I'm going to trade off. He has a nice pawn on the C file. Knight is blockading. And he figures, you know what, that could be a dangerous rook on the E file. Let's trade it off. Not only we trade it off, but then we're attacking the pawn on A2. So just looking at it, in a preliminary fashion, it looks all right. Right? The ideas looks good, but tactically it's faulty. And Tal finds this. So at the rook takes e8, knight takes, and queen takes c4, just unceremoniously drops a pawn there. Of course, more prudent for black would have been, move like queen c5 here in hindsight, making sure the pawn is good. And play could have went, say, king g1. We're just, in an equal position. But it's understandable. Again, your instincts don't want to allow the enemy rook to come to the seventh rank like that. So he goes for the trade, but he drops his pawn. G6, and he's pretty much busted for all intents and purposes. That's why I think it might have been a time scramble situation. And D6, Queen D4, and now Tal is just up a clean pawn. And the rest of the game just basically consists of Gligoric trying to hold on, but that's why I'm looking for swindles and such. That's why I'm kind of speeding through this last part. Knight takes G3, of course, going for the perpetual. Tal just marches the king up the board. And just solid play by Tal here. He finally wins the pawn, and there will be no perpetual. And after king c8, Gligoric resigned. So Tal went up 2-1, and real tough loss for Gligoric, who played brilliantly. I had nothing, nothing to worry about in the position, but it was just enough to make an error here, and the decisive error here, make no doubt about it, is rook to e8 in this position. Again, queen c5 is okay. Even a move like g6, just not rook e8, because it just drops the c pawn without without any compensation. Okay, so even there's just no remedy. I was looking for something. Rook e8 is definitely the culprit. So after game 7, Tal is up 2-1. So we will see you in the next video.